Plus, spicy questions, spicy foods. The president gets a full helping of both in Albuquerque. Good afternoon. Improve education and the economy will follow right along.
That was the president's message to a small group who gathered to hear him talk about both at a backyard gathering in Albuquerque's South Valley this morning. The group, ranging from just folks to political power players, spent an hour and a half listening to the president detail his plans to revive the sagging economy. And he says the best way to build a better future for our kids is to do a better job preparing them for that future right now.
So part of the reason I decided to run for president was because we had all these problems that we hadn't been dealing with for a long time, even before the crisis hit, that we had to deal with. And the number one issue in terms of us succeeding as an economy is going to be how well we educate and how well we train our kids.
The president went on to outline his plans to improve public and early childhood education. They include financial incentives for schools to be more innovative and making it easier for college-bound kids to secure and pay off their student loans.
After his 15-minute speech, the event took an interesting turn.
Some of the people in the crowd were allowed to fire off questions to Mr. Obama, showing the economy isn't the only thing on their minds. News 13's Maria Medina was there.
And Dick, about a half a dozen people got to ask the president a question. They wanted to know what he's going to do about illegal immigration. They also wanted to know why he chose to be a Christian.
The crowd of New Mexicans greeted President Barack Obama with applause. One woman offered him some locally grown chili peppers to take back to the White House.
I like spicy food to go with your spicy questions.
And he did get some serious questions. This woman asked the president about comprehensive immigration reform.
Yes, let's secure our borders. Yes, let's make sure that the legal immigration system is more fair and efficient than it is right now.
There were personal questions as well. One woman asked the president about why he chose Christianity.
It was because the precepts of Jesus Christ spoke to me in terms of the kind of life that I would want to lead.
But the most emotional question,
well, obviously the VA does a lot for my father,
came from the son of Andrew Cavalier, the man who hosted the president at his home.
Well, unfortunately, at the VA sometimes, he doesn't get the care and the service that he should.
Right.
I mean, he sacrificed his body. I mean, over 17 surgeries that he's had.
We are in the process of investing more in the VA and reforming how business is done at the VA than at any time in the last 30 years.
The president ended the discussion by telling the crowd to keep their faith in the progress he says is being made.
Or are we just going to keep on doing the same things that got us into this mess in the first place?
And the same woman who asked the president about his religion also asked him about abortion. The president called it a difficult decision that should be left up to women and their families, but did say there should be time limits on when abortion is allowed. Dick?
All right, Maria, the family that hosted the president today only found out about the visit last week. Andy Cavalier is a retired Marine Corps staff sergeant. His wife, Etta, is a counselor at Los Lunas High School. They were one of 4 families considered to host the backyard forum after Congressman Martin Heinrich recommended them to the White House. Today on KRQE.com, we're asking how you think the president handled today's backyard Q&A. So far, more than a third say he did well, but another third thought the opposite. This survey is still going on. You can cast your vote, and you can read more about the president's visit at KRQE.com.
The White House is not calling the Albuquerque visit a campaign stop, but the political overtones were very clear. Diane Dinish, the Democrat who's in a tight race for governor with Republican Susana Martinez, was front and center. Albuquerque Congressman Martin Heinrich, who's in a close contest with Republican John Barela, actually suggested that Obama make the South Valley visit. That area is a Democratic stronghold, and Heinrich is one of the Democrats' national Republicans hope to knock off in their battle to regain control of the House. The president wants to avoid that.
These choices are going to mean something. And you got to ask yourselves, what direction do I want this country to go in? Do I want to invest in our people and our middle class and making it stronger, in our infrastructure and our education system? And
Democrats have a strong registration edge in New Mexico, and party leaders hope the presidential visit will fire up the rank and file. Demonstrators who lined the motorcade route outside the event had politics on their minds as well, and their opinions on the president's policies were as varied as the signs they held up.
I think he will bring us out of these bad times, and like I said, I'm a small business owner, so I feel that he will, and I have the faith of that.
Well, I think that his programs are not right for the nation. He's had close to 2 years in office, and we're still heading in the wrong direction.
Despite differing viewpoints, the peaceful crowd kept itself under control.
As you might expect, the president was on a tight schedule, but he did make time for an unexpected stop on his way to the Sunport. The motorcade pulled up at the Borellis Coffee House on South 4th Street. The president went in and ordered huevos rancheros green to go. While he waited, he worked the lunchtime crowd, including an Army veteran, a firefighter, and even a fellow Bears fan who he spotted over in the corner. The visit was a surprise to everybody there, even the owner, Michael Gonzalez.
And I was on my way to work, and one of my maintenance people called me and said, there's a bunch of police around your restaurant. I said, I don't know what's going on.
We came to have a nice anniversary lunch. We were in the mood for chili, and Secret Service man came out and said, we've got a special guest. If you have any knives or guns, let us know.
Yeah, they do like to know about that. Borellis Coffee House is one of the city's most popular political hangouts and has seen a lot of power players in its 32 years, but never a president until today. Huevos Rancheros is not the easiest thing to eat on the run, but the president must have managed it. His to-go bag was gone by the time he boarded Air Force One at the Sunport on his way to a rally at the University of Wisconsin in Madison.